A South City man accused of beating his wife to death just hours after a nonprofit bailed him out of jail on a domestic assault charge. Good evening, I'm Steve Savard.
And I'm Claire Kellen in for Courtney. Tonight, Samuel Scott is back in jail for murder. News 4 is asking the nonprofit why it bailed him out of jail. Our Emma Hogue is here with what she's learned today.
Well, Claire, Steve, so many are shocked and wondering how it got to this point. Court documents show this history of abuse stems as far back as January. And tonight we're asking why Scott was bailed out and what more, if anything, could have been done.
Shocking. I didn't know that it was right in back of me where I live at.
Charlene Waller says the news sent chills down her spine. She was horrified to learn her neighbor Samuel Lee Scott is accused of fatally beating his wife, Marsha Johnson, on the other side of her apartment wall.
When I would pull up, they would be sitting on the porch or something like that, but I never knew that they were having problems like that.
Waller says she saw the couple in passing and that they seemed to have a loving relationship, but court documents obtained by News 4 show a much different reality.
It's really shocking.
Records allege Scott first hit his wife, pictured in this GoFundMe page back in January. Around that time, he was put on a wanted list for fourth-degree assault, but it wasn't until April 5th that he was formally charged. The circuit attorney issued this warrant and called him a danger to the community. On April 9th, Scott was served a restraining order prohibiting him from coming within 300 feet of Johnson. That same day, he was freed from the St. Louis Justice Center after a nonprofit known as the Bail Project paid his $5,000 bond. Scott allegedly beat his wife to death inside their home just hours after being released. Johnson died 5 days later from blunt force trauma.
I wish she would have called somebody or got some kind of help.
Tuesday, the Bail Project's St. Louis branch sent us this statement, calling the death heartbreaking. In part, manager Mike Milton says the instance is, quote, a symptom of St. Louis's failure to address the underlying issues. News 4 wanted to know more, like how many domestic assault suspects they bailed out before. We arrived at their local office to find the lights out, door locked, and mail scattered on the floor. Now, the state of Missouri says they attempted to notify Johnson when Scott was released from jail. Tonight, it's still unclear whether or not she ever received that message.
So what exactly, Emma, is the goal of the Bail Project?
So they're a nonprofit organization nationwide. They've been operating in St. Louis since about January of last year. So far, we're told they've helped more than 1,300 people.
All right, Emma, thank you for the latest on that.